Watch this satisfying forward kick. That's the hook topspin serve fooling players from pros to amateurs. And here's exactly how to neutralize it. In this lesson, I'm covering how to handle the hook topspin short serve. This serve deceives players at every level from professionals to amateurs. Why? First, the spin curves from the right side, making it tricky. Second, it creates wide angles. Third, when paired with a hook backspin serve, the two look almost identical, making it very hard to read. Let me break this down clearly. First, let me teach you how to receive this serve. Watch the hook serve spin, see how the ball jumps forward aggressively. The hook serve is naturally very deceptive because the motion comes from the elbow and body together, making the action extremely compact. The backswing can vary large or small, but the actual contact point is always hidden. Now, with a no-spin serve, watch the trajectory. It bounces forward and stays high. It won't dip down like a hook backspin serve, which visibly drops after crossing the net. The hook topspin jumps forward, you must read that trajectory. Feel the spin. If you misjudge it as backspin and try a short touch, the ball pops up high, an easy ball for your opponent. Now let me teach you the first method. Once you've correctly identified the topspin, the key starting point is the same. Get low, sink your center of gravity. Whether you use pen hold or shake hand grip, the technique is the push flick, as I've covered in previous lessons. Never actively flick this serve. Why? Because the server can add extra wrist snap at contact, creating a sudden forward jump. That's where the push flick works perfectly. You borrow the ball's energy instead of generating your own. No backswing needed. If the ball doesn't jump up much, sure, you can actively flick, that's fine. But the moment it kicks up even slightly, you'll struggle to find the right contact point. Plus, a regular flick produces a flat, easy ball. You'd be better off moving over to banana flick. So what makes the push flick superior? First, it's stable. Second, you ride the ball's upward spin and redirect it downward with pressure. The resulting ball is heavy and drops sharply. Your opponent can only lift it. Let me demonstrate. Watch the spin. It becomes a sharp backspin that dips aggressively. A normal flick rolls forward, but the push flick drops down, forcing your opponent to generate upward spin just to return it. This gives us an active transition into the next ball. Now, placement matters. In a match, where should you push flick? Target the middle or the backhand side. This connects to match tactics. Players who use the hook serve typically have balanced forehand and backhand skills. Both men and women choose this serve because they rarely need to pivot. So when you push flick to the backhand or middle, combine that with pushing toward the center of the body. This forces your opponent to move, disrupting their positioning. The placement of your push flick is critical for creating that effect. Let me demonstrate first, pushing to the backhand. Second, push to the middle. When your opponent expects a backhand return, a ball to the middle forces them to shift their weight backward and adjust. Combined with the heavy downward force of the push flick, they can only lift the ball up. Then we follow up with quick rips to both sides. That's the complete tactical sequence. See how the threat builds. Now let me review the push flick technique from previous lessons. On this ball, absolutely no backswing. You must catch it on the rise. Use the rising phase to borrow the ball's energy. If you wait too long, you'll have to generate your own power, and forcing your own power into this push makes it much harder.
那么这个就是一个配套。那么具体推，咱们之前的课也讲过，咱们再复习一遍，就是来发一个，这个球一定不要拉手，一定要等它的上升期去迎着它这个力量。你如果一等呢，你只能说自己加力，那你自己去加力推这个球，过去是没有那么强。
Without borrowing the ball's energy, your shot won't be heavy. But if you catch that combined force point, it's 1 + 1 = 2, you send their own power back at them. The effect is much better, faster, heavier. If you take it late, you lose control, can't borrow force, increase risk, raise your error rate, and get mediocre results. So remember, lock your wrist firmly, whether shake hand or pen hold, the wrist must stay tight and fixed. Drop your right shoulder low because the ball kicks upward, and you need your body weight to press down and control the arc.
效果也一般，所以说我们一定记住，首先手腕一定要绷住，啊，这是横板，那么直板也是，手腕一定要绷紧，手腕绷紧，然后手腕固定，右肩一定压低，还是的，因为它是一个拱的上旋球，我们还是需要靠重心去压住这个弧线。
Once the wrist is locked, push the ball with your body weight, not just your hand. Keep your hand fixed and drive with your body like pushing a door. Press through the ball. Your front foot steps in at the same moment you contact the ball simultaneously. Don't arrive first, then flick. That ruins your timing and you can't combine forces. The push flick differs from an active flick. An active flick uses your own power with space. The push flick is about borrowing and combining forces. Watch, I shift my weight forward as I contact.
有空间，推挑我更多的是找一个合力跟借力的感觉啊。大家一定要看我出手就是我上重心的同时，啊，我做的会比较明显一点这个动作。啊，大家可以看到这个效果。
The most critical point, keep your wrist locked tight. The hook topspin kicks up aggressively. Any backswing or wrist turn and you'll get caught by the spin. Your error rate jumps and the effect disappears. Wrist firm, right shoulder pressed down low. After the push flick, the follow-up ball is far easier than misjudging the serve and popping up a high ball. This is one effective method for returning hook topspin serves.
基本上来说，它的难度肯定是没有你顺着挑，或者说你判断失误搓高球这么难。这个是接勾手的其中的一种方法。